Welcome to the Not Nerd Show. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello there, sir.
Oh, and Sean Connery, guest host.
And I just discovered that the little picture-in-picture I had set up for you disappeared. Oh, it's back because you did some things with your camera.
Oh, yes.
Oh, and I forgot to turn off the fan over there.
Yeah.
Shoot. I hope it's not too loud.
Well, we'll see if anybody comes in the live chat on YouTube, because we do go live Tuesday nights.
Come in on the live
Pacific
and let me know if you can hear the fan.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Smash that like button. Leave some comments.
Check the chat.
And producer Todd, well, look who was
able to
come in.
You know what? I had a whole bit set up, Todd. It was going to be like, before we get started today, I just wanted to say that our producer Todd couldn't be with us tonight because he's in class. And I was going to fake everybody out to think that he was going to die.
Had happened.
Hey, Grandma, she can't hear the fan. Thank you.
Well, there we go. My ears are too sensitive.
They are. And, you know, that fan is really not even doing that good of a job. You could probably see sweat
glistening.
At the start of the show, that's 81 degrees in here. We'll see what it is at the end of the show.
Okay. And the stinking heart in the YouTube. There we go. I'm nothing if I'm not a bit ruiner, and audio sounds good.
Ruiner.
So there we go. So then we need to get on to the hat, which I teased you yesterday, Dave.
Okay.
I got a story with this one. So there's a guy on Instagram, a larger guy that likes to have a beer and cook food, and it always looks really good. And he was wearing this hat one day, Fat Boy Surf Club. And I said, you know what? I am not a skinny boy, and I'm a fan of surfing. I'm going to get the Fat Boy Surf Club hat. So haven't worn it on the show yet, obviously. Haven't worn it much. So Saturday night, I'm DJing at the Marathon Taverna, as I do on the weekends.
As you do.
And this large party comes in. They're having a good time. And I notice one of the guys has a different model Fat Boy Surf Club hat on. Another person has a Fat Boy Surf Club shirt. And then there was two guys wearing this exact same hat. And I was like, okay, I got to figure out what's going on with this. So I went over and asked one of the guys, and he's like, no way, that's like my best friend. Yeah, we love him. And I will give a shout out to, oh, come on, Instagram, don't hide my stuff. But yeah, so he's good friends with the Fat Boy Surf Club. So I figured I would bust that out tonight. Joke City on Instagram. He even gave me his promo code to use next time I need to order any hats.
Well, that's nice.
So yeah, Fat Boy Surf Club hat.
Well, I've got this here. Is this the same guy?
Yes, that is. They've got a wide variety of shirts and hats, and just having a good time. I mean, Fat Boy Surf Club. It's just the hang loose with the fork. That's another one that they have one of their designs, but they're giving back, and they have promises.
I like their picture is a manatee there.
Save the manatees.
Definitely a fat boy. There's a sloth on that one or something. No, and that's a manatee. I'm sorry.
So, yeah.
Nice.
Fat Boy Surf Club. Check them out. Check out Joke City. But anyways, enough hat talk. For our main topic, I had something in mind. You had shared an article in our group message a while ago about AI and how it was training on like kids' photos without them doing that. And I saw another story about that with somebody claims that Google's Gemini was trained off of his like private tax return that he had stored in Google Drive.
Wow.
But I was tired of the AI stuff, and it was kind of depressing. If they've taken your data, they've taken your data. Not much we can do about it now, and hopefully they're slowing down on that. But I did see a couple stories this week that I thought it would be fun to check in on, and that's kind of the state of podcasting. You're probably familiar with podcasts because you know about Not Nerd, not if you've only found us on YouTube. But the first article I thought was interesting, and we've talked a lot about Spotify's foray into the podcasting world. And they announced this week that they are going to add comments into podcasts. So, and I was listening to another podcast talking about this today, and they were like, oh, it's just like Apple. You go in there and you can leave a review. Well, it's not like that. Apple, you can leave a review on a podcast, but it's for the entire podcast.
Right. It's not an individual episode thing.
So this is much more like YouTube, where you should be commenting right now. Where you
and don't forget to subscribe so you can hear.
Yes, so you can make sure to comment every week. But it'll be like that with replies and likes. So basically, they're trying to turn Spotify podcasts into social media. The only problem for me is it's like less than 15% of all podcast listening happens on Spotify. And like our podcast gets pushed to Spotify, but I'm never in there. So if people are commenting, that's just one more place you have to go check things. I don't know. Yeah. What do you think, Dave?
Well, it's to me a signal that they're not being successful in their podcast efforts because they're trying to throw stuff at the wall to see what sticks, which is never good. And like all these tech companies, they have to continue to innovate and get new subscribers and get more money so that the people who invested them can get a return.
Yes.
And eventually the wheels fall off the car because it's going way too fast. And it's just a train wreck after that. I mixed a few modifiers.
Yes. I'm going to go on the record again. We just need to get rid of the stock market and public companies. But then you'd have private boards and everything that would still want more money. Don't focus on money. Be like Not Nerd. Don't focus on money.
Do everything for free.
Yes,
hey, we got an update here on we got some
Chris Kent
passerbys.
has entered the chat and said, feed the algorithm. Yes, sir. Thank you for that. Back in New York, I'm thinking he got back there from his trip out west. Yeah, the neighbors strolling by on this summer's eve.
Yep.
We're at 94, a cool 94 degrees. I did not go outside much, so I wasn't aware of the full temperature heat index.
Hey, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that you've moved out of your igloo into it looks like a villain's lair type
My
AI.
chat GPT prompt was create a widescreen image of a futuristic man cave. And so it's, with some very buff James Bondish poster pictures on the wall. For some reason, a barber chair over to the side.
That's a gaming chair, my friend. With I thought there was only one arm, but there's two arms.
And then a massive wraparound screen and what almost looks like turntables, but they're about 12 feet away from each other. So that would make it very hard to DJ in my new futuristic man cave.
Yeah, I can get on board with that giant wraparound screen. Yeah. That would be cool. That'd be really cool.
Much like my Vision Pro. And Chris Kent says, yes, sir. Came back in time for tornado warnings and sticky heat.
Yikes. That doesn't sound good.
Oh.
You know, maybe I was hallucinating from the heat, but I thought there were potential thunderstorms here. Am I crazy?
I did not hear about that. So,
well, we need our resident weather expert, Elliot, to get on.
I don't see anything in my weather widget here. But let us digress back into our podcast topics, because I also came across, I was kind of looking around, and an interesting, article report, and it was Podcast Statistics and Industry Trends 2024, Listens, Gear, and More, from Colin Gray at thepodcasthost.com. But he had some different statistics. One from June 2024, there are 4,198,326 total podcasts registered around the world.
Wow.
And that's down 5.6% from December 2021, down about 250,000. But
they gave up.
We'll see on Apple Podcasts host about 2.7 million podcasts, which is up from September 2021. And there in 2018, there was only 550,000 active podcasts on iTunes.
Now,
So it is septupled.
I'm taking some, I don't know the word I was looking for. I'm disagreeing with the quote because Apple doesn't host any podcasts.
Yes, that is an incorrect word. They list 2.7 because they don't host anything.
No, everything's hosted elsewhere and they just connect to it.
Aggregator of the podcast.
Oh,
but
man, it's an active day today.
Evening in the neighborhood at 94 degrees. People are getting acclimated to the weather.
Yeah, don't let your dog pee there. Come on.
Yes, but it was talking about how it went from 4.2 million for the total podcasts, and Apple only has 2.7. Well, there are a ton of podcasts that Anchor, like the free services where, like in COVID, when you were 2020, when you were locked in your house and said, hey, is this thing on? Hey, everybody, I'm doing a podcast, and one episode. And so that's kind of where that is. And in 2024, 84% of people in the US are familiar with the concept of podcasting, which even that seems a little low. Like if you haven't heard the word podcast, some people are just off the grid, up from 75% in 2020. And it's slowly crept up since then.
I think older people are living longer. So we have a lot of people who don't know anything about
it. How many people listen to podcasts? It says 67% of people in the U.S. have listened to a podcast at least once, up from 55% in 2020. So that keeps going up. How many people listen to podcasts on a monthly basis? About 47%. And 34% in the last week. So I rarely go a day, but like I was talking about the other week, YouTube, I consume most of my stuff on YouTube, and it does talk, I think, either further down in this one or in my the other link I had, the 12 top podcasting industry trends. We could switch over to that one.
Okay.
But it was talking about how video podcasting, which even YouTube still calls what we do a podcast, and it has like a separate podcast feed for us, and it does an audio version, which I don't think anybody would listen to those. But embracing video, and of course, Joe Rogan, and going back to Spotify, why anybody would go on Spotify now, because you can get Joe Rogan anywhere, including YouTube. And he was obviously one of the big pulls to Spotify. I'm curious of the other shows that were Spotify exclusives.
That's what they should call them.
They've been re-released. Spodcasts. But yeah, there's a line just under his picture. It says, this trend has also seen podcasters turn to specialist equipment like podcast cameras. Searches for podcast camera are up 117% in 5 years.
Is there such thing as a podcast camera? It's just a camera.
A camera. Yeah, it's called video production. You are making a video show. You're not doing podcasts.
I suppose a webcam would be a search term.
In their second point, podcast advertising picks up steam, which I sure notice on some of the podcasts I listen to, that they just jam more and more ads, and the auto insert ads where it's just like a radio commercial that gets popped in there.
So I'm having a hard time with advertising in general, but for podcasts. And so the Vergecast, for example, The Verge is a tech website, and they have some podcasts. So I'm thinking they've got 3 people on the podcast. If they're getting, I don't know how much they make. Let's say they're making $50 an hour to do this podcast. Actually, let's say $100 an hour, and they do it for 1 hour. That's $300 for the talent. You've got a producer. We'll pay him $100 an hour. That's 4. Got an editor. Probably take him an hour or more to do the show. So for 5, 6, that keep the lights on. Let's say it costs $1,000 to produce one episode of the Vergecast.
Yeah.
They have a 1-minute ad before the show starts, and then probably 4 multi-minute ads in between, and then one at the very end. Who doesn't shut it off, I guess, if you don't have access. And they have to have like 1 million listeners, probably, maybe not 1 million, but tens of thousands of listeners. And so I'm thinking, I don't know the math, but let's say they're earning $5,000 per episode. Why do they need such a huge return on something that really doesn't take them?
Because I think they're a public company, and there's 100 people above them in the company that also need to get paid. Now we're going to have to.
That's not their only.
No, that's not their only income. Yes. Yeah. Well, and I don't think it would be interesting to dive into how the numbers break down. And I think a lot of the advertising money does go to celebrities, which I say, oh, come on, but they're getting the viewers. But I'm going to get back to your comments here, producer Todd, because he has some more stats for us from the last article. But I was listening to something this morning. In reality, there is no worse experience than to start a podcast off with advertisements. You should at least be doing a cold open or get into the show, get people hooked, and then the ads. I mean, it's just, I
know.
Your ad-free podcast going into past year 8 now, the Not Nerd podcast. But if the advertisers came a-calling, we might change our tune. So
we make it up in goodwill.
Yes, yes. The other stats from producer Todd in the live chat, there are 2,878,959 total podcasts, but only 387,573 are active. There has been no increase in the number of active podcasts since July 2020. So that's fascinating. So, and Not Nerd and Mark and Toddcast and Portland at the Movies would always also count in that active number. And he says, and these stats are from 2 years ago, but 90% of podcasts don't get past episode 3. That's 1.8 million who quit. Of the 200,000 left, 90% will quit after 20 episodes. That's another 180,000 gone. In the top 1% of podcasts in the world, you only need to publish to be in the top 1% of podcasts in the world. You only need to publish 21 episodes of your podcast. So here we are at 449. We've got to be in the top 0.01% of episodes. I look at somebody that has like 1,000 or 2,000 episodes or whatever, but very few people.
We don't want to keep going on about this, but I used to listen to the Libsyn podcast, and you said you listened to one recently.
Yeah.
They always have these stats, and are like, if you have more than 550 listeners, you're in the top 1% of podcasts. So for all of those who have 10, 20, 30, 100 listeners, if that, take some, man, I can't talk today. Be consoled.
Yes.
Because you're like probably in the top 20% of podcasts if you have 80 listeners,
And if you look at the top of the top, Joe Rogan, who has hundreds of millions of dollars behind him, or comedians that are massive all these massive celebrities, or NPR, somebody that already, as I always say, the best way to have a successful podcast is to be a celebrity before you start your podcast.
Already be famous.
Yeah. So just some interesting statistics there. I'm going to go some more of the, there's increased competition between the podcast apps in this 12 trends. Apple is still vastly the dominant one, but others are growing. There's Luminary, which is like a subscription one. Ads are getting easier to produce and place. Yeah, because the other thing is, even for reads by the host, I've noticed like Adam Carolla, he'll just clip in the same read over and over again. I've seen that on other podcasts and the auto insert stuff, which I do not like at all.
I know. The auto insert makes no sense. You're in the middle of a sentence and then an ad plays for like
yeah.
Walgreens, and then you finish the sentence, and it's like,
Yeah, or I'll get ones in Spanish sometimes, or just like the most random does not apply to me.
yeah,
And
they're
then they
just
talk
scraping the
about,
bottom of the barrel.
yeah,
I
subscriptions, which there are a lot of subscription podcasts.
And we're evidence that you can produce a podcast on the cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
we have hundreds of dollars worth of equipment that we've built up over the years,
Yeah.
but YouTube is free.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, Libsyn, $20
talent
a
is
month.
free.
And I was going to say Libsyn is who we host our audio
yeah,
podcast
that's not
with.
free.
They're one of the top ones. Live podcasting continues to grow. I do, like, I'll be DJing at the bar and it's like somebody will come in, we go, oh, I just went and saw the Baked Ham live podcast. And I'm like, I've never heard of that podcast, but they're a big fan. And so that's a way that they're making money. We'll get into that live.
Yeah, maybe we get it on
the
the tour circuit.
Yes.
Watch the Not Nerd podcast live. It's riveting.
Yes, but yeah, it just goes on and on here, and I'll have the links in the show notes. Of course, learning is one of the big trends, along with, I'm sure, the true crime. I don't know if those have leveled off, if people have gotten their fix of true crime yet. The fact that CSI is on its like 75th season tells me that people probably still like true crime.
Yeah, and
but yeah,
NCIS.
Yes, yeah, that's
12.
another one.
NCIS South Pole.
Yes, but yeah, that's kind of the meat of it. I'm sure producer Todd will go through. Portland at the Movies has done several live shows. Yes, they have. Producer Todd's part of the Portland at the Movies, where they review movies filmed or based in or around Portland. And they've got a lot of stuff, and they've done some shows.
And I've heard they've had
one of them.
Dozens of attendees, dozens of them.
At the Portland Podcast Festival several years ago, I got to experience them live. That was
How many
fun.
people were there?
A couple, probably 200-300.
Wow.
Because they had a ton of podcasts. It was just a concert of podcasts. Everybody would do a short show there. It was pretty fun to see some different podcasts sometime. And stuff.
Or do you have to be invited, maybe?
Yeah. Yes.
We had 2 people show up at the last live show at Fan Expo.
Oh, the Fan Expo, yeah. One of the
and the second person was the spouse of the first person, and they had to come.
Yeah, yes. Yes. It can be hit or miss, but at least they've got a topic that especially nerds would be into if you're in the Portland area, but then they get into global and stuff. But interesting. I just wanted to bring it up, talk a little bit about what's going on with podcasting, and it keeps changing. I think it's going to just keep going more and more to video. I mean, like you said, YouTube's free, and I really, really enjoy having a video aspect to a podcast to be able to see things. And there's obviously advantages to watching ours. You get to see my background, my green screen background. You get to see my hat, my mustache, my microphone, your cool stuff in the background there.
It changes occasionally.
Our picks of the weeks and all the fun stuff we showed. So there are advantages to video, but also some people, if you're driving, it's probably better to listen to podcasts than watch video.
Your opinion.
Definitely my opinion. You know what else is my opinion?
Huh?
Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
Man, my hand was getting tired hanging on that button to push. Okay, so Pro Tip of the Week. We've covered this one before, but today I was at work. I notice I didn't say I was working. I was at work today, and I'm in a group chat, and it kept dinging on. I have a computer to my left, and it just kept dinging. I'm just like, what? None of my other devices. Why does it think that one's the one I'm using? It's dinging over there. So I went in and I changed the focus to Do Not Disturb. Do Not Disturb does various things. I think it silences notifications and various things like that. But one disadvantage of doing that is if you are signed into iCloud, maybe your phone goes into Do Not Disturb and your main computer and your computer at home and your iPad and your watch. And suddenly you're in this situation where people are texting you and you're like, I didn't know you were texting me.
Yes.
So what you need to do is go into that particular device and turn off the, what do we call it? Share across devices. So I'm going to show you how to do this. You go into settings right here. Oh, sorry. Let me switch to, you go into settings and down under focus. If you scroll up, it's right in this area.
The moon icon.
There it is. You click on the focus. You can also search within your settings and just type in focus. But you'll notice there's an option that says share across devices. So whatever my focus mode is set in, if I have this set on any device, when I switch it on one, it'll do it on the other one. That computer at work, I want it to be silent, but I don't want the rest of my devices to follow suit. So on that computer, I went into the settings and I disabled this switch so that that computer is independent of the rest of my devices.
Yeah,
and that, ladies and gentlemen, is
about that before. I checked and I do have it turned off on my computer because if I'm not using the things at the same time and doing different things, or I think that is a crucial one. But I've got a quick sidestep for us, Dave.
Oh, really?
Yes, I am going to text you a screenshot that I just took as I went into settings on my Mac. And my iCloud picture on my Mac, nowhere else, not in any of the apps, but my iCloud profile picture. If you can pull that up on screen with your technology, your podcasting computer. So there is a picture.
What is this?
Is my iCloud profile picture. I have never seen that picture before in my life. I have no idea. It does not exist on my computer. It is not something my eyeballs have seen. But at some point, all of a sudden, that showed up. Again, only on my computer. If I look on my phone, it's got my normal picture on there. I cannot figure out. There's my normal. It's my little memoji with my hat and my sunglasses on.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I think I contacted Apple support, and they're like, well, I don't know.
Well, there was a thing a while back where people's pictures were getting into other people's iCloud.
Yeah, there was something like that. But just the most random thing. And so I've got this couple tie-dyed. I really don't know.
There's a doll involved.
Yeah, some sort of festival it looks like. But
a guy in the back with a sweet beard.
Yes.
I mean, all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, but anyways, that was that, which brings us to everyone's favorite segment, just the headline. Any more action on the driveway?
Oh, let's take a look.
We've already gotten 2 passersby, but no.
I got to tell you, that pickup parked behind my daughter's car is about 3 inches away.
Yes.
I was like, that is very close.
Snug
and you might think my daughter is
discussed that truck before and here. Love of it.
Yes. Look how much bigger it is than normal. I mean, the Mini's a little small.
Mini's a little minier than most vehicles, but yes.
Yeah.
Trucks get large.
They do.
Okay. Back to just the headlines. Japanese cafe uses robots controlled by paralyzed people.
Microsoft unveils a large language model that excels at encoding spreadsheets.
Excels.
I just got it.
Dune-inspired upgrade for spacesuits allow astronauts to recycle urine into water.
Yum. Amazon says it hit a goal of 100% clean power. Employees say it's more like 22%.
German Navy to replace aging 8-inch floppy drives with an emulated solution for its anti-submarine frigates.
Hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Nike is killing the app for its $350 self-tying sneakers. Oh no. What are those three people going to do who bought them?
Yes. And Whataburger app becomes unlikely power outage map after Houston hurricane. And those are just the headlines.
I thought that was the job of Waffle House.
Waffle House. Yeah, there must not be enough Waffle Houses.
The Waffle House
Houston.
Index.
Yes. Well, on to our takes of the week. As much as I know our listeners aren't fans of Android, Samsung did have their Galaxy Unpacked event this week, and you're going to be shocked. Their products are focused on AI.
Weird.
Yes, but they released their new Z Fold 6 and their Z Flip 6. You'll remember they have two folding phones, one that folds hamburger style and one that folds hamburger style and hot dog style.
Right.
But yeah, they released their two new phones. They have a new Galaxy Ring, which is kind of a smart ring with some sensors in it that only works with Samsung phones, and the Galaxy Watch Ultra, which might sound familiar to the Apple Watch Ultra. And you might notice the orange highlights on it that are almost the same orange of the Apple Watch Ultra.
South Korea, get your photocopiers ready.
Yeah, yes. Although they do have a rounded screen as opposed to the rounded rectangles of the Apple Watch. So
well, the Ultra actually
it's a square shape.
It's a rounded rectangle.
I think it's still a round face, and then it has stuff around it that is not part of the face.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
But anyways.
Snazzy Labs, check him out on YouTube, was kind of going down a list of how everything was a copy. I think it was him. The Ring is a copy of the Aura Ring. The Ultra is a copy of the Apple Watch Ultra. And their folding phones are copies of last year's.
Yeah, more expensive and barely better from what I was reading through things.
They went from a rounded
and everything
corner to a more square corner.
But this article that I linked to didn't have their buds, their AirPod knockoffs, which one of the models look exactly like the AirPods Pro. I mean, they might come in two colors, like an off-white and a black. But yeah, so if you're into Samsung stuff and their folding phones and their smart devices, now is your moment. Let us know in the comments if that is you, if you are into Samsung. Well, Samsung devices, they make
much like being in the Apple ecosystem has its benefits. Being in the Samsung ecosystem also has its benefits. Like the watch works with the phone, which works with the buds. So if you're into that ecosystem, then these are fine products. It's just they're not very innovative.
And they have their own Galaxy AI offering that does stuff. I actually didn't. Usually I try to watch the videos of this one. I just did not have time this week, but they have new stuff. So check it out.
Check it out.
And a quick update on we had the retro game emulators for iPhones, and I think some have come to iPads now. Apple approves first retro PC emulator for iPhone, iPad, and Vision Pro. And I think the way they're getting around this, because they had blocked some, is that the idea is you're using older versions of operating systems to be able to play games. I think that's kind of like you're being able to load Windows XP so that you can play the classic solitaire version, because there's no other options to play solitaire. But apparently I have not
rather than just emulating the OS.
Yes.
Okay.
But it does look like, actually, no, it does look like they do have the full OS. So they have.
But I mean, the developer could say, my goal is so
Yes,
that you could play games,
is for games.
not
So
that I
Apple
want to
maybe
have a
has,
separate OS.
yeah, slacked off on a little bit, but I might check
Yeah.
it out just so I could have Windows XP.
I mean, this is
Um,
something I wanted to do 15 years ago.
yes,
So I'm not really interested anymore, but
the excitement is worn off. It's called UTM, and UTM SE requires that users supply the operating systems they want to emulate, but it includes guides for Windows XP through Windows 11 emulation,
mm,
as well as downloads of pre-built virtual Linux machines. So, Mike Peterson, you can run Linux on your iPhone now. Be happy.
or you can just use like Jump Desktop and connect
Yes,
back to a
connect to
Linux
a
computer and it
computer.
works better, if you ask me. But
Yes, indeed. Oh, and then we've got a little Vision Pro. Two things. This first one, this cracks me up. So I was doing a little math. The headline is Apple Vision Pro unlikely to hit 500,000 sales this year, says IDC. Well, I did a little back of the napkin head math. That's about 2 billion with a B dollars in Vision Pros that they're
well, a
selling.
half a
So,
million is a lot of a
yeah,
$3,500
yes.
computer.
Yeah, it's more, guarantee it's more that Mac Pros, they're more expensive computers that they sell. So it's kind of this, of course, the media has to put a anti-Apple spin on it, but my
Hmm.
spin is like, oh man, they only made 2 billion off a brand new product that most people can't afford. Uh, but also along with that, Apple CEO Tim Cook uses Vision Pro every day. So me and Tim Cook, same person.
You are identical.
Yep.
You even have the same Southern accent.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Very
And all other
nice.
things. But yeah, so he came out with that. But all that, I wanted to rush through that because it is Microsoft Patch Tuesday, July 2024
There we
edition.
go. Man,
Yes.
I
So,
couldn't wait.
and it was actually last Tuesday, but I missed it before the show getting it in. So I apologize that we're a week late on
Mm,
this.
I got
But
some
Mike,
hate mail.
yeah, Microsoft Corp today issued software updates to plug at least 139 security holes in various flavors of Windows and other Microsoft products.
Wow.
Redmond says attackers are already exploiting at least two of the vulnerabilities in active attacks against Windows users. So
Yikes,
that
yikes,
is your
yikes.
monthly reminder to keep your devices updated, for especially for those security patches.
Yeah. And don't forget that one backup is none backup. Behold. Oh, remember, Nate, you can't move forward unless you back up.
Yeah.
Behold the power of backup.
Oh,
It's hard to
yeah.
push all these buttons.
Yes, and do the whole spiel there. Nice
Yeah.
work. That is a good reminder. And our next, another security and privacy story here, which kind of negates the whole try to keep backed up. AT&T paid a hacker $370,000 to delete stolen phone records, and this
Wow.
breach, U.S. telecom giant AT&T, which disclosed Friday that hackers had stolen the call records for tens of millions of its customers, paid a member of the hacking team more than $300,000 to delete the data and provide a video demonstrating, really, like,
Ha-
why is this hacker going? It's like, yeah, I'm hitting delete right
Here we
now.
go.
It's
What if he
gone.
made a copy? What if he
Yeah.
already sold a copy to somebody else and that's his
Yes.
only copy? You know,
Oh,
that is the
but
dumbest thing I've ever heard. Why would you trust a criminal?
no. Well, and this one, it was phone records. So if you're AT&T customer or anybody that's interacted with the AT&T customer, this data had call records, so they would know who called each other and all this stuff. I mean, every week it's something else. It is such a mess.
Yeah. I think we should just all move up into the mountains and just not even have electricity.
Yeah.
Indoor plumbing would be good still. I'd still like to have that.
It'd make it much harder to do the podcast. I guess we could record it to cassette and send it off to somebody to publish it.
Send it to
Send out
Todd. He could
cassettes. Or we
make it
just
work.
we're all living in our commune. We gather together and we do that live podcast, charge everybody to make our money.
Hold on. We're in a commune. And we just go on a stage and do the podcast to the other people in the commune.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah, that's where we go. That's our life. The Not Nerd Commune. If you're in, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, make a comment on what you would like the first 5 rules of the commune to be.
Yes, indeed. Well, let us cleanse our palate with our bonus odd take of the week. And
hold on.
This week,
what was that?
The bonus odd take. There it is.
The button is in the same place every week. I don't know why I can't find it.
And this is one you found, Dave. So explain to us what Wiby.me is.
So I was on Reddit, as one is, and they were talking about different websites and stuff that were like from the 80s, or not the 80s, like the 90s and 2000s or whatever. And somebody mentioned the Wiby website. And this is one of those conglomeration type websites where you type something in that you were searching for, and it will find a website that is compliant with really old browsers, that's not full of all this JavaScript and all this garbage. So I'm going to search a topic, or you can do the surprise me. So let's do typewriter. Did I spell it correctly? Here we go. All about typewriters. Nice. And look at this website. Oh. It is very minimal.
Very HTML. Yeah, similar to one we had a couple weeks ago. But yeah, this is an actual search engine where you can look for a topic and find stuff with it. That really
works
cool.
On the old websites and stuff.
Yeah.
So
simple HTML.
Let me do a surprise me and see what comes up. You asked for it. Oh boy. This is appears to be
an Asian language.
No, I can figure it out. It's I think this is Chinese. No, maybe. I thought it was better than this. I think that's Japanese. That's Japanese. Let's try another one. I mean, maybe some people can figure that out, but I can't. Why is it?
If I made my screen bigger, took a picture with my phone, and used Google Translate.
Yeah, there we go. So this one is, welcome to the Tempest Newfoundland's website. Please use navigation bar on the left to explore this site for general information about our Noofs. Let's look at puppies. Oh. And I click on the picture and nothing happens. Yes. Just like an old website.
Newfoundland puppies.
Sonja. Oh, poor Sonja. It's probably Sonia, but it's more fun to say Sonja. She's no longer with us. But there you go.
Very nice. Wiby.me. That is an easy one. And you know what else is an easy one?
I'm not sure.
Our picks of the week. More air horn. That's what the people are asking. Let us know in the comments if you want more air horn. I cannot get enough air horn.
It's the best. Picks of the week. So, what I was going to do was my new item that came in today, but I talked to you before the show. I think I'm going to take it back.
Okay.
Let me find it on Amazon while we're up here. So, this is the SmallRig mini tripod for camera, updated desktop tabletop tripod with archetype compatible QR plate, 360 ball head, and 1/4 screws, portable for compact cameras, DSLRs, phone, GoPro, but 2664.
Woo.
So this is a small tripod that you would put a phone or a camera or whatever. It's got the Arca Swiss type plate, which if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. That goes in there, a quick connect. It's got the ball head on top, and when you're locked in, you can loosen this and kind of do a smooth pan while
that's
you're
nice.
locked, versus if you try to do that with the ball head, it's like
Up and down,
floppy doppy. You don't want that to happen. So you
no
lock
floppy
that,
doppy.
and then if you're just going to pan slowly across the scene, there you go.
That is nice.
Yeah, so it's a nice tripod, but the one I really wanted was slightly different. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this one and send it back or what. But
yes, but a nice lightweight, small. It's not a tall tripod.
No,
but it's
like
very
15
compact, but also very well built. We were discussing it yesterday that you were looking to get that.
It's aluminum, and you could put the camera out here and use it as a selfie type
stick, hand extender.
Give you another foot or so away from your face.
As someone who does a lot of selfies, that can make all the difference in the world, especially when you have an extremely wide mustache.
Yes, I can imagine.
Or if you're trying to get multiple people into a photo.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Which is more common, I'm sure.
Yes. Well, my pick of the week this week, I have to, you might see me leaning right now. So I've got a desk chair that I've sat in. This bad boy here. This is actually, I've never talked about this. This might be a future pick. That's a cover. But this chair, I purchased it from a company I worked for in probably 2008 when they were moving offices. So that's a long time ago. And I've been using it ever since. And my wife and daughter had noted that the armrests had become quite grotesque with skin and just wear and tear and everything. So I thought the other day, you know what? I bet there's a place I could go look for something like this. So I went on Amazon and I purchased some brand new armrests. Now,
and they're compatible with your chair?
Yes, there appears from my research, there are two standard measurements, which this handle, which will be linked to, has both sets. There's a narrower one and then a wider one. This one has the wider, but you could always just look at your chair, measure the distance, and then make sure you get the right one. But you just take the arm off, you unscrew it. They gave you hardware. They gave you a little screwdriver device thing, little flathead that worked well on there.
So what you purchased was like the pad,
just the pad. Yes,
I see.
Just the top part. The arm remains the same because that's metal and doesn't have my arm resting on it all the time. So it is called the MySit Office Chair Armrest Replacement Arm Pads Universal 4-inch 5.5-inch mounting hole set of 2 black. And it was $18.98 for the set of 2.
Now, is it MySit or mice it?
MySit. It is capital M, lowercase y, no space, capital S, lowercase it. So MySit put together as one word, as we do for Amazon brands. There's a lot of different options and some different styles. I wasn't too particular about the style, but I would show you the old ones, but my wife made me throw them in the incinerator as soon as I got them off the chair because she did not ever want to see them again. But
mine are in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
This was like a used chair from somewhere. It's worked fine.
Yeah, mine were not. So it's probably a 20-year-old chair, and it is a great chair. I have no need to replace it, but those did need to be replaced. And you can find either of those picks or either of those picks over at notpicks.com. And I forgot to put it in the show notes because I mentioned something, and I'm going to, I will give you a link in there.
That's not it. Don't go to NotePicks.
NotePicks.
Go to notpicks.com. There we go.
And if you actually click the link that I just threw in under that in the show notes, I had teased that I was going to do some summer picks. So I put together a page of summer picks Did that link come through in the
Oh, there we
show
go.
notes?
It was slow.
Okay, it was
Thanks,
slow
Apple.
to update.
There we go. Is
and
that Mike Peterson?
And that's what ChatGPT, though. I just realized how bad those folded legs look on that guy. But yeah, I went through all of I think we have over 200 pics on the website now. And please don't fold your legs like that.
What is going on with what's the computer doing here?
Yeah, well, I just said a guy on the beach with lots of gadgets, and went through quite a few iterations, and that's what we ended up with. It looks like a lot of devices that all look like solar panels, but went through our picks, and I picked out 13 that I thought would be real helpful over the summer for different things. That portable travel bidet, got to get one of those.
I want this thing.
Yeah, the battery power station.
What'd that thing cost? That was hundreds, I think.
It's probably on a crazy Amazon Prime deal. Don't forget, Prime is going on right now. And I got that as a gift for Christmas. There's a coupon. They always have a coupon, at least one coupon. But there are some of those power stations. There's some different brands. Witty is the one I have. But yeah, some summer picks there. So I need to get that linked on the front page. I did put it out to some of the socials, but just some good little ideas to help you get through summer. On the spin chill, Dave.
Oh yeah.
If you click on the spin chill, if you remember, we did that video. I updated this listing in there. I put in our spin chill video from 6 years ago that we did. The audio is atrocious.
We can get 5 or 6 more views on it. And and look, we could have used my new tripod in that instead of your one that you have.
Oh yeah, for the little GoPro or whatever, one of our Akaso cameras there. But the spin chill isn't available on Amazon anymore. I went to their website and it looks live, but they haven't posted on social. So I've been in contact, or I contacted them. They have not responded to see if they still exist, but a little teaser, I might have found a replacement product for quickly chilling your drinks.
Video in the future.
Yeah.
You may notice that in only 6 short years, I lost my glasses.
Yes.
That's about it.
That
I lost. And a production note, the beard looks rather dark there. This was in the, I think it was right around the time my daughter dyed my beard to see what would happen. So it's pretty dark. I don't think it's ever been that dark for real, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So go to that page for the summer. It's notpicks.com/summerpicks. I'll have it linked on the homepage, but go to the spin chill and then you can watch that video to see us doing our completely scientific
it looks like a
experiment
different type of product
with our safety goggles on. That was the best thing.
Don't watch that clip out of context, because I'm not sure people would understand what we're trying to do here.
Yes. Yes. And producer Todd says, I remember being so jealous about your ability to make that spin chill video. How far we've come, Todd. And now you are able to make JoJo Siwa videos.
We've gone backwards, where we just don't make any videos. We just turn on a camera and point it at ourselves.
Yes. But anyways, so not picks. And we do have a Amazon purchase. I want to mention, I don't think I realized last week we talked about the Wasp and Hornet Killer spray. As our Amazon purchase. Thank you to whoever bought that, because you bought 22 cans of it.
What?
Yes. So I think we have like an industrial supply company that's using the NotPicks link. But I was looking through the anonymous reports today, and next to that, and I was like, 22 cans of Wasp
What in
Killer.
the world?
My goodness.
That's nice.
Insane.
More of those, please.
Yes. But I do have a new Amazon purchase of the week this week. And I've got the hyperlink. I've got a hyperlink there for you, Dave.
Does it start with HTTP : //
It is hidden in an Ahref anchor on the Amazon purchase. But
where do I find this?
No, It's where it says Ramazon purchase. You just click on the word.
You always trick me with that.
Yes, yes. But this is the Calico Critters Persian Cat Family set of 4 collectible doll figures for children ages 3+, which this was given to my daughter for her birthday last Saturday for her birthday party with her friends. So we had shared the Not Picks affiliate link with some people, and they were able to buy her some birthday gifts off there. So we are enjoying the Persian Cat Family.
You know, I have to point out that those are not calico cats. They're just plain colored cats. So it's a little misleading.
Critters brand. Persian Cat Family.
Do they come with instruments? That'd be fun.
Some of them do. Calico Critters is a wild, wild world. They have houses. They have
accessories and other critters.
Yes,
not
they have
included.
If you scroll down the page, you can see the large house, and there's all the critters, and we have quite a few sets of them. If you keep going down,
oh wow,
there's the big house and
holy ginormous
Victorian house, and it's a wild, wild world. Having now 8-year-old daughter.
Who needs Barbies when you have Calico Critters?
Yeah. Well, you need Barbies too, and Stuffies too, and
Lego.
It's weird. My daughter, she's like into collecting stuff. I don't know where she gets that from.
Does Chelsea? She's a big collector, I think.
She must be, that I don't know about, because I don't really collect much.
Well, I don't want to embarrass Chelsea, but I have seen your garage, and Chelsea,
there's a lot of collections in there.
You might need some help.
Yes. It's me.
There's a show called Hoarders.
Yes, not quite to that level, but
no,
yes, as you and I were discussing, we actually, if we wanted to get into some quick hot dog talk, we were able to go in and we'll have a PDX Fast Foodie video and did the unlimited wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. But we were talking about the fact of that if either of us got a storage unit, it would just allow us to fill the storage unit and then backfill the house again. So that's like a limit that I'm not ready to cross. And we've actually made a little progress in the garage. I can get through it.
You can move about now. Yes. The items that you own will expand to fill the space that you have.
Yes.
So that's why having a smaller home is not always a bad idea.
Yes, and this is true because I like stuff, but mostly hats, but a lot of other stuff too. Well, with that, we want to thank all of you that were able to join us in the live chat for the live show on YouTube.
Yeah, thank you.
And you can watch it anytime on YouTube after this point and catch it in your favorite podcast app. Talk to us on the socials, all that good stuff. We love doing this. We love talking technology. We're even traveling. Each of us are traveling the next week, but we're going to make it work so you can get out there and tech better.